Howdy, howdy, hey, hey, hello. Um, so, DK thinks, I'm sure back in 2007 when you were watching my videos that you would have seen little thing DK thinks, dkthinks.com. I think about things and I do video and stuff and it was cool and anamorphic, 16:9 and blah blah. Anyway, I will get to more of them at some point and Derek's Skitties and stuff. And nothing ever ends in my life, it just slowly continues. Anywho, this could technically be a DK things if you remember all that stuff. Anyway, swearing. Just gotta fix my head at this. Now you know that I don't swear that much at all, right? And you know how people like Justine are like PG and all like yeah and stuff, but then in real life swear and such. And people swear, everyone swears. And my point of view is that it's just a word, but it's just a word, and it's just a middle. It's just a finger, middle finger, other fingers and stuff. They're just fingers. If one just happens to have more than another, me and my sister use the pinky. So then la-di-da, that has more, that has an emphasis on something. Like when you're like, screw you, mister. And so do swear words. Funnily enough, I mean, I've had my fair share of swearing. It's, you know, you're a teenager and you swear and you say the F word and the LMNOP words. But because society has decided swear words are bad, we're not going to put them on TV, probably take a very long time, a couple of generations possibly more, to change things around and say that like, oh, now I don't know where I'm going with this conversation, as in, should I start swearing and like start the generations moving to make swear words not as significant, not as emphasizing on things. Like, I don't know. Should a swear word be a swear word? Should like saying, I mean, even like Rachel was telling me the other day that damn and sometimes heck can be swear words, and I don't, you know, and then you get to the shit, which is in the middle, like you can throw like a bull shit out there, and I think I just haven't said them for long enough, and they're not really in my vocabulary enough, because I like to pride myself on having a good vocabulary, and not needing swear words to just say like, oh, this pencil is a piece of this pen is a piece of shit because it doesn't work. You know, you could say this pen doesn't work. I'm gonna throw it in the trash using a swear word, or even a moderate one, a mild one, like a shit, doesn't really need to happen, right? And now, sure, I don't have a problem with, you know, Pulp Fiction, the swearing, the M and F R, and stream of consciousness. Okay, that's what this video is. So basically what I'm saying, I'm trying to open a conversation about swearing. I think I'm really on the side of society and whatever, just in saying that, you know, don't bother with it, learn more words, read the dictionary. Let me... Excuse me for the... I'm back. Dictionary? Paper! Remember when there was paper? This is an old dictionary. Old as in Derek's dictionary. 1996. I almost said 1966. I look good for my age. Old dictionary, it's a little, you know, the snapped. But didn't probably get as much use as the dictionary should. But I haven't gone through a dictionary in a while. I love dictionary.com. Can I say I love dictionary.com, especially since it's been redesigned in the past year or two? Man, that's like when I search Google for a word, if it comes up with Merriam Western Dictionary, I don't care for that site because it's ugly. I like dictionary.com, and it makes sense because it's a dictionary.com. If you're like Collins-dictionary-, that's amazing, but you should donate your words to dictionary.com because that's just the leader in dictionary. Now, there aren't really any extravagant words in here. Household, Hulk. I mean, if you're a child, you might not know what a household is. But a joule, Joule, like a, you know, have kilojoules, and you probably have megajoules and gigajoules probably. But a plain old joule, it rhymed with school. School dictionary, yeah. Now I happen to have lost the page, but it's a unit of measurement of energy. Cool, huh? You learn things from the dictionary. You learn words. You learn how to use different. A playboy is a rich man who spends his time enjoying himself. It might not just be a magazine. Okay, kids? Pool, small area of water, but it's also a game with coloured balls that you hit into holes. Now, you know, this stuff is pretty simple. Quadrilateral, if you've ever done maths in your life. Shape with 4 straight sides. Now, I'm looking for more interesting words. Okay, this is interesting to me anyway. Pyre. Prior? It doesn't have a pronunciation thing next to it, or a little button to click with a little speaker where you can listen to how it's pronounced, like on dictionary.com. Is a high pile of wood on which a dead body or religious offering is burned. Now, if you're religious, you might have known what a pyre is. A pyre? You might have known that. I have dabbled in religion, but I don't know all the specifics like that. So what I'm saying is, you don't need swear words. And to get more specific, nice giddy friend of mine, Neil, this morning, we were talking and stuff, and we love the Gary, we love the Crush It. I don't have one in my hand right now because I'm working on it, getting it to Australia. I want to get a bunch, and I want to just leave one in a library one day, by accident. And I've read sample chapters and stuff. I'm eager to do some Crush It, okay? But in recent talks from Mr. Vaynerchuk, Mr. Gary, we love Gary. He's awesome. He's very inspirational to me, and I know many, many others. And I can relate to a lot of things he said. I didn't sell baseball cards for $1,000 a week when I was a young kid, but I was a hustler. I can tell you that. And we're not thinking of magazines again, kids. We're not thinking of magazines when we say the word hustle. We don't like to hustle our body all the time for sex. Sex is not a bad word, by the way. If I can get to the correct hernia, hoist. Okay. Anyway, so Gary, he speaks at a lot of places, and I believe he said that he's not going to speak to it at as many conferences and such in 2010, because it gets like a lot of work, and working is good. But at a recent conference, while I looked for the word hustle, FOA, London, I believe it was. I will have links below. I do believe it's on Vidler. And apologies, 10 minutes? It's the internet, kids. Keep going. Hustle, okay. Hustle is someone takes them to move by pushing and jostling them. The guards hustled him out of the car. Hustle is... I'm not going to break my book anymore, but you get the point. Gary. I'm not gonna start this again and make it shorter, okay? I promise. Gary let out a few F words. And I've seen many of Gary's presentations and talks and stuff, and that one back in mid-2009, he had a kid. Lovely little Mischa. She is epic. You know that, right? And he had a little swear jar, and anytime he dropped some F-bomb, S-bomb, L-M-N-O-Y bomb, $10, $20 or whatever, you know, you shouldn't need a swear jar. Had a swear jar in our house once, you know, made a bunch of things, gave it to charity. Good stuff. You shouldn't need a swear jar at every conference. And as far as I've seen, there haven't been any other swear jars at any other conference talks that Gary has had. Yet it probably would have been very good for a charity or for someone, for Mischa's college retirement fund. College retirement? Retire in college? It would have probably been very, very beneficial to somebody having a swear jar at previous conferences like this FOA, and also on Vuk. The recent video, I believe, I saw it for the first time yesterday, where Gary, now, Neil and I were talking about ego and such, and some ego is good. I don't know if you've ever seen a Magnum ego. It's very delicious ice cream. But in terms of, you know, loving yourself, I love myself a lot. But the Vuk video, it just didn't seem Gary. It was like, oh my god, I have a meeting in the morning, I'm awesome, I love this, I'm awesome. And I love people that say that they're awesome all the time, because people are awesome. But it just, I don't know if he was being directed or something, it just didn't seem like Gary. And then at the end of the video, F this, F that, F this. Now, I believe, I do feel an inner connection with Gary and with like people like Johnny Cupcakes, because of our childhoods. Johnny is just always tweeting awesome stuff that I'm like, oh my god, that happened in my childhood too. But I believe, and I can relate to this, that Gary's using the F word, we're gonna get specific, to emphasize his meaning. Like, if you don't effing hustle, there's no point in doing what you're doing. If you're not gonna hustle at it, blah de blah. You can watch the videos; they'll be linked all over the place. Now, I was creating a website for my mum's business a while ago. Rachel and I were dealing with it, and you know, my mum is a different generation, and she's capable of learning. As I'm very impressed with older people. Are people, okay? Everyone is a kid inside. You have to understand that. So just someone is just older by a number, by an age. That's how we determine people's knowledge, I suppose. How wise people are, their age, generally. Generally, an older person is much wiser than a younger person. And I'm very impressed when older people understand stuff that younger people are doing. Younger people are more into new things, and older people can be set in their ways. And it sometimes when older people set in their ways, it can be very frustrating to get them to see and understand the things that we understand. You know, social media, such, how web design works and all that thing. So going through this website, you know, I would get frustrated, and, you know, in an enclosed environment, in a safe place, with family and friends, might have thrown a few swear words around. And the thing is, it didn't have any impact. Because I'm not known for someone who swears. So if I'm just like, this is effing crap, that's not a good example because that's not what I said. But and I don't want to influence people by swearing right now. So, but if I just said a swear word and just to emphasize what I was talking about, like, can't think of an example, okay? Just stream of consciousness. There's nothing in the conscious right now. If I just got frustrated and I just said, this is the way it has to bloody be done. The bloody part just doesn't have any emphasis. It just doesn't add any emphasis. And it was just like on Gary's video, how he's just, at the end of that Vuk video, it was just F, 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 F. That's great. I understand how you're trying to use it to emphasize things, like, I am swearing in front of you, take me seriously, because you don't expect someone that's at a talk or something to bust out the F words. You don't expect someone at TED, Leah Laporte, to bust out F words. You don't expect Leah Laporte to bust out the F words on any Twitch show, and then you go and see some live thing that happened on Twit like 6 months ago where he got pissed off at someone. And, you know, I don't know if you see a different side of people. But swear words, as I've said, you know, throw them out there and stuff. But don't just, I don't know, don't just willy-nilly. It's kind of like an acting. If you're going to put a swear word in some dialogue, you don't just throw it around. You use it for emphasis, and you make it part of the character. And it's just like, swearing is not part of I'm not a character, but it's not part of me. And I don't believe it's as much a part of Gary as he's displaying. So I'm thinking, you know, that he's not trying too hard, but he's just going over the top. If that makes sense. Going over the top, and it's just not needed. If you say what you're going to say, it might not sink into some people, but the people that are really listening will understand. And the people that are really listening will get distracted by the swear words. If you're saying, like, if I'm sitting there and I hear someone, you know, swear, 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 I go off in daydream land, and I think of, I wonder what other kind of people swear here. I wonder what else to expect from this conference and stuff. And I don't feel like, I guess I'd have to be there, but I don't feel like it has any bad reflection on the conference or the talk or wherever Gary is. But Neil is all into this stuff, and he speaks, and he, you know, speaks of very high profile things and stuff, and he's a baller. I don't know if that might not be correct terminology, international terminology. Neil's a cool guy. And he was telling me that, you know, throwing around an F word, you would be kicked out of there in no time at the things that he does, which are, you know, important things where high profile people go and listen to you speak and trust your knowledge. And if you're throwing out F words in your knowledge, probably not going to be such a dandy thing. Yeah, that's my thoughts on swear words and stuff. And I think that Gary needs to, you know, donate $1,500 somewhere, college child retirement fund or whatever I called it, or some charity. Let me know your thoughts. I might split this into 2 videos, just because 20 minutes is a long time. Anyway, just let's start a conversation. I'll make another video about this soon. Giddy up.